Hello boys and girls, today I'm going to show you how to get started on your coil vessel or your coil vase. First you'll get a piece of clay, and what you need to do is flatten it into a slab by pressing gently but firmly with the palm of your hand. I'm going to press down until it's an even thickness, and what you can do is turn the clay, you can peel it off the clay mat and turn it so you can see how thick it is. You want it about the thickness of your pointer finger or your thumb. Once you have it an even thickness, then you are ready to cut out a circle base for your vase. You can take a paper circle and place it on top and use the wooden stylus to press through and gently curve around the paper. Now you can see here's the thickness of my base, and when I peel off the paper, it's a nice circle. What we are going to do is roll coils and attach them on top of each other to make the walls of the vase. For this step, what you need is a small piece of clay to roll your first coil. About a ping pong ball size is good. And the first step is just to squeeze it into a cylinder shape or a log shape, like this. And then you place it on the mat and you roll back and forth to thin out the coil. It takes a little bit of practice to roll so that it stays round, but just get a feel for it and keep on practicing with rolling your coils. You can roll back and forth moving your hand. And if it starts to get a little bit floppy, it's thinner here and thicker here. If it starts to get that way, you can tap it on the table to make it more circular again. Keep on pressing down and rolling until it is about the thickness of your pointer finger or your thumb. And you can tell and see that it's starting to get longer. If there are sections that are thicker, keep on pressing that section a little bit more. And you don't want to press too hard. I'm pressing pretty gently on it because we don't want to smush the coil either. I have my first coil, and now I am ready to attach it to my base. In order to do that, what I can't do is just press it on and think that it's going to hold. Because if I come and wiggle the piece, or if you wiggle the piece and it falls off, that means it's not going to stay together. It will fall apart. What we need to do in order to attach two pieces of clay together, we have to score and slip. The options for scoring and slipping are taking the wooden stylus and cutting marks, hash marks in the clay on the bottom of the base all the way around. And you want to crisscross. With scoring and slipping, the messier it looks and the more cuts you have in the clay, the better the clay is going to stick together. So this looks great. Next, what I have to do is score and slip on the bottom of my coils. I'm going to do the same thing. And you can see here I am not moving my whole wrist. I'm just moving my pointer finger and my thumb with my middle finger. I'm just moving those back and forth, back and forth. My wrist stays still. That can help you score and slip a lot faster. Now I'm ready to add water to my score marks. I'm going to dip my finger in some water and just drip water on the score marks. Be careful not to blend out the score marks. We want to keep those looking the same. Now that it's all full of water, I will flip this over. Gently press down so that the clay sticks to the base, and then you can cut off, if your coil is too long, you can cut off the extra and blend it together. What you can do is lift up your clay and you can smooth out the coils after you press them together so that you don't see the score marks in between the coils. The goal is to smooth out your coils, but to show the separate coils, the lines in between each one. This is getting a little bit watery, so we don't want to add too much water because then it gets sloppy. I'm going to roll one more coil and show you how to attach it on top of the other coil, and I'll show you another scoring and slipping technique you can do also. Here's my next coil that I finished. It's about the same thickness as the other coil, and once you get your first coil, you'll want to make sure the next ones are all the same thickness as your first one. And now I will score and slip it onto this base. And instead of using the wooden stylus, another option is using a toothbrush. You can dip it in the water cup and just brush and scrub the clay. You can see little tiny score marks barely on the clay. And that is just enough. I'm going to score on this coil. Just scrub back and forth. And then I'm going to flip it over and press it on top. Cut off your extra and blend it together. You can see that I put them on top of each other, and that is our goal with making the coil vessel or the coil vase. You want to make sure you roll even coils and you score and slip them securely on top of each other to make a nice even vase.